doing their part to make a difference in the fight against cancer. And my next guest is one of several volunteers with the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, and she herself is a cancer survivor. You've seen her on the show before, Stacey Escalante. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Happy to be here.
All right. Tell everybody real quick, Stacey, about your experience with cancer.
I had stage 3 melanoma 7 years ago, so I'm happy to report I am cancer-free now.
You look good.
Thank you. But I had 2 major surgeries and 2 years of treatment. As a mother of 2 young kids, it was really hard to go through. Very scary.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this event and how you're involved and how we can get everybody else involved.
Well, one of the things that we do, you can have all of the research in the world, but if you don't have public policy or laws to implement it, it doesn't matter. So we need cancer survivors out there or caregivers to tell their stories, because next week we're going to Washington, D.C., a group of us from Nevada, to talk to our lawmakers about cancer, to keep it in the spotlight, to keep funding going to it. 14,000 people will be diagnosed with cancer this year in Nevada.
That's a scary number.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And then, go ahead.
Well, I'm meeting more and more people who have been diagnosed, and so it does affect people, whether you've had it or someone you love has had it. It reaches.
It does. I've had 2 grandparents who slowly died of cancer, one lung cancer, and one it just had spread all over the place by the time they found it. And the caregiver part is what a lot of people forget about. And so when you go to Washington, D.C., what are some of the things you're going to ask for? What are some of the things that are top of mind for you?
Well, research funding is important. Access to affordable health care. Also, there are a lot of senior citizens who are diagnosed, and then lower income. So we want to just make sure that they know this is not the time to cut funding, because we have made such great strides in cancer prevention. I had melanoma. It's one of the easily treated, because if you detect it early, you can get rid of it. Unfortunately, mine was stage 3 at that point. So we really want to stress prevention.
All right, so now it's a telethon of sorts going on, right?
The Stand Up for Cancer. And then next week, when we're in D.C., we have one of the greatest things that's called the Lights of Hope.
Okay.
If you go on acscan.org, you can buy a Light of Hope for $10.
Nice.
We're going to have them in front of the Capitol. It's like a luminaria.
Okay.
And you can do that for a loved one, so that we line them up the lights next Friday, the 14th. So if you go on the website, if you've lost someone to cancer, it's a really great way to give back. But we're going to be out there on Capitol Hill talking to our lawmakers. And then after that, we're going to be talking about cancer votes. And we want to know, we are nonpartisan too. So this is Cancer Matters, and we're going to be asking the presidential candidates, what do they think about cancer, and where do they stand on the issue?
And more importantly, what about the funding? Because that is the bottom line. Like you said, a lot of elderly, low-income people who may or may not have insurance, that's when you run into the big issues with this disease. Stacey, thank you so much. I'm glad you're here to remind us so that we don't forget about those who have probably been forgotten in our current economic system. So we appreciate it. All right. Sean, over to you.